The Tre'von Moehrig, Jauan Jennings situation created, I think, a real challenge for the NFL because they've made it clear sportsmanship, big deal this year. They're taking it seriously. There have been multiple suspensions. We had Brian Branch get suspended for hitting Juju Smith-Schuster. Dre Greenlaw got suspended for verbally accosting a referee after that epic Week 7 Giants-Broncos game. And then we had the spitting by Jamar Chase on Jalen Ramsey. So how do you parse this out? How do you figure this out? Who gets suspended? Who gets fined? Because Jauan Jennings did the Brian Branch thing, but Tre'von Moehrig kind of did the Jamar Chase thing. And there was a way to get through these weeds, Chris, where maybe both get suspended. At the end of the day, the NFL decided to give Jennings a pass, even though it was minutes after he got punched in the family jewels by Tre'von Moehrig, and people are amazed to find out that NFL players don't wear cups. They don't. So that punch happens by Moehrig. Jennings retaliates with the Brian Branch post-game blow to the head. Jennings doesn't get suspended. Moehrig does. And I think that's the right outcome. But you still don't want that after the game. You don't want that minutes after the fact. That wasn't Jalen Ramsey doing what comes natural in the moment. That was minutes later.
Yeah.
The punch to the crotch happened like just under 3 minutes left in the game. So he should have cooled off by then. I'm not saying I'm surprised that they didn't suspend Jennings, but I'm a little surprised they didn't suspend him.
I hear you. I wouldn't have been surprised if they did.
Apply their precedent from Brian Branch.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, too, what I think's interesting, and we kind of talked about this with the Jalen Ramsey and Jamar Chase thing. There's a part of me that likes the NFL and going, no. One guy severely crossed the line here. And we can understand why there was a little retaliation, because that's a line where it's hard not to retaliate, like spitting in someone's face or punching him in the family jewels, like you said. And I think with Jauan Jennings, too, the fact that it wasn't like a real punch, he kind of did the open hand, just jab in his face. I think that probably helped him as well. But I do like the NFL a little bit being harder on the guy that started the whole thing with an incredibly cheap shot to begin with, and making him the biggest example to go, listen, what the other guy did was wrong. And I think the NFL said he still might get fined, right, which I would expect at some point. But I do think they're right in making the example of the agitator, the guy that really did it. And I do like that aspect of it. But I, like you, I wasn't sure where it was going to go either with Jauan Jennings. I'm glad they didn't suspend him. I hope they don't. And I just hope he gets a fine. I think that would be fair.
They would have done it by now.
Yeah, right.
They would have suspended him yesterday. And look, I still don't know whether Jalen Ramsey got fined for his retaliation.
That's right.
To Jamar Chase. The way the fines came out, I think he got fined for the thing before, because they show you the quarter and the time on the clock that the incident happened. And there have been guys who have been fined for multiple incidents that happened at the same time. I would have thought that there'd be 2 fines for Ramsey. Him and Chase getting into it, which drew offsetting fouls, and then the Bengals lined up for a play. They let the clock run down. They called timeout, and then during the timeout, they got into it again. That's when Chase spit on Ramsey. He got 1 fine, and I think they didn't fine him for retaliating. I think Jennings will get fined, and I think one of the reasons Jennings didn't get suspended. I mean, the Brian Branch Juju Smith-Schuster thing was comical.
Yeah, right.
Smith-Schuster had no idea it was coming. He put his hand out to shake his hand.
Hands.
Moehrig knew.
Yeah.
Moehrig knew.
Right.
You watch that. He knew something was going to go down, because he knew that he had punched the guy right in the nuts. So right. I don't know why. You can say nuts, right? I mean, what the hell?
I guess you can.
Jason Garrett says all the time, it's nut cutting time, and I don't think he's talking about chestnuts. Hey, but think about the scale of indignities. Like, we just assume that getting spit on is the worst thing a player can do to another. You know what? Especially if you get spit on your jersey, it doesn't hurt. Getting hit in the nuts hurts.
Yeah.
So you could argue that this is even worse than spitting on somebody. And it is cheap. It's dirty. It's chicken stuff. And he deserved to be suspended for it. They just didn't see it happen, or he would have been ejected in the moment.
Yeah, no, and I think it's even beyond cheap and dirty, right? Like, I saw you and Devin talked about things that go on at the bottom of the pile and all of that. That was a great moment. That was really funny yesterday. Yes, but that stuff does go on. But even within that, when you might get hit in the family jewels and all that, it's not a let me wind up and give you a damn Mike Tyson uppercut. That went so not only is that cheap, that went beyond cheap. You wind it up and punched him there. Like, that's ridiculous. I mean, I listen, I'm one that sits here and goes, you do that, you really if you got suspended 2 games, I wouldn't have been mad. I really would not have. And on that, like, where did nut cutting come from? I mean, where is that from? Who the hell's nuts were getting cut ever that they felt like they had the pressure to do something in the clutch? I
don't think that's what it refers to. But every once in a while during the Football Night in America podcast, Jason Garrett will say nut cutting.
It's an old phrase in the NFL world for sure. Yeah. It is, and it's one of those where you break it down, you say it out loud, you actually go, where did that come from? What the hell does that mean? And who had their nuts on the chopping board to such an extent that they felt like, man, I better go here or they're going to chop them off.
I don't know. Maybe it's turning a bull into an ox. I've got this vision of bolt cutters, and, that would be very effective. The bolt cutter is very effective.
Apparently.
If it can pop a lock, if it can bust through that steel lock, it can turn a bull into an ox, as the case may be. But, yeah, it really was a violent blow to an extremely sensitive, unprotected by a cup region, and that I still have this image based upon the way Devin McCourty told the story of Bill Belichick standing in the meeting room going over the coaching points for how to properly recover a fumble. Close your mouth, close your eyes.
Yeah. Clench your butt.
Clench your butt cheek.
Right.
That was I did not know, other than that one player who we have seen the videos of a proclivity to surprise someone with a finger to that area. I did not know that was an area that was attacked at the bottom of a pile, but we don't know because we don't have cameras in HD, 8K, bottom of the pile showing what's going on. I thought that stuff didn't happen anymore. I thought that was part of the, NFLPA, free agency, brotherhood. We've talked about that in the past. This isn't like the Giants of the 80s and the Eagles of the 80s where no one ever leaves. So we develop this year in and year out hatred. When you're moving from team to team and you're seeing guys all over the place, I thought that stuff didn't happen anymore. I was wrong.
Yeah. It's still going on for sure. It's still crazy, and there's still enough guys on the other team, even though you know a few of them that you don't like and you don't give a damn about, and you'll do some stuff that you go, I wouldn't do this to most normal people, but in this game, as intense as it is, in this moment, screw it, and I don't like this guy anyways. So, yeah, some of that stuff goes on for sure.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.